Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you are in. I am Janessa Siegel, your wealthy wellness warrior, here to talk about my journey as an entrepreneur. So I've been posting a lot of lives talking about my journey as an entrepreneur, just so you all could get to know me more and to really understand the heart behind my business and the heart behind what I do. And so today I just want to explain what it really means to be an entrepreneur and how much it can significantly impact your life. I can honestly say being an entrepreneur has been one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life or experienced. Outside of my mother passing away, this is by far the second hardest thing that I've experienced. However, I would not have it any other way. I have completely grown into a whole new woman. And I know that it is because of this journey that I am becoming who I am supposed to be. And so if some of you saw some of the pictures that I was sending out in terms of talking about my live tonight, I mentioned how being an entrepreneur has helped me become who I am. And so what does that mean? So I was thinking about what does it mean to become oneself? And I thought about how when I started this entrepreneurial journey, I did not do it 100% working for myself full time. It wasn't until 2.5 years later, after starting the company, that I decided to start working for myself full time. And it wasn't until I worked for myself full time that the first thing I realized is I did not know how to show up for myself. I didn't even know how to define it. I would talk to clients all the time and I would tell them, you show up for other people, but do you show up for yourself? You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to find ways to take care of yourself. While I'm telling them all of this, I was not doing that for myself. And it wasn't until I had to find a way to physically, mentally, and spiritually take care of myself. That is when I found out what it truly means to show up for oneself. So the first thing that I can say about being an entrepreneur is you will absolutely learn a lot of things about yourself, and you will learn a lot of needs that you did not know you actually had. I thought, if I go out to eat, I'm showing up for myself because I love food. If I travel, I'm taking care of myself. I'm treating myself. I'm doing what I need to do. But in the process of doing all of that, I was still draining myself. I was still exerting energy. And it wasn't until the emergency fund that I saved up to cover expenses once I became self-employed, it wasn't until that fund was depleted that I was forced to really sit still and rest. I didn't have the money to do a lot of stuff. I didn't have the energy to do a lot of stuff. And to be honest, my motivation when it came to trying to help other people, it was very difficult because here I am trying to encourage others to be financially well. And I was at the time really struggling. And so I had to find what it looked like to sit still, to really calm my nerves, to actually meditate, to really find a way to find peace and understanding in the situation that I was in at the time. When I was able to do that, that is when I was showing up for myself. And I absolutely love it. Now, I try not to overbook myself, which is something I would do all the time. I also have gotten used to the word no, which is very difficult, especially if you're a giver, especially if you're someone who wants to help people. It is so hard to say no. And when you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, you want to take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way. But something you have to realize, another way of showing up for yourself, is you don't want to shortchange yourself either. It is great to go out there, put your name out there and do things for free or at discounted rates to get exposure and to build relationships. However, you don't want to do it so much that you're not actually paying yourself and you're doing a disservice to yourself. Because once again, you're doing something to show up for others, but you're not showing up for yourself financially in that situation. So that is something that I have learned a lot. And I would say another major lesson that I have learned about being an entrepreneur is if you don't show up, you do not get paid. And as simple as that sounds, I don't think it actually registers in a person's mind. I know it didn't register for me until that was the reality. When I had another full-time job and I was doing my business on the side, I still had the safety of that full-time job. Once I started working for myself full-time, I didn't have the safety of that salary anymore. And so literally, if I don't get up, if I don't make calls and send out emails and network with people and try to create partnerships to do more financial education in the community, if I don't do that, then I'm not going to get paid. And when you have that realization and that pressure, it can be overwhelming at first. But then you realize, no, like, this is something I wanted to do. This is something that I love. And I decided to put myself in this situation. So I am going to show up. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to send the emails. I'm going to go to meetings. I'm going to do whatever I can to be successful in this venture. And so I didn't understand that amount of strength that I have had. Oh, it looked like, did it pause? Okay. It seemed like it paused, but we're back. Oh, thank you all. Hey, y'all. Hi for joining. It's so good to see y'all. So yes, being an entrepreneur, everyone says there's going to be ups and downs. That's a given. But I would argue to say that being an entrepreneur, your ups, they are up. But when those downs come, ooh, child, they feel so down. And so at those moments, it's important to know, how do you show up for yourself? How is your support system? My support system, amazing. I love the people in my life and my support system so much because they have pushed me through so many situations that I've been through. And so I would argue to also say that as an entrepreneur, you need to have the right support system. You need people who aren't going to be yes people. Someone who's going to listen to a video and give you constructive feedback. Someone who may be a talent in something and you utilize that talent. If I need something with my business, I think about my friends first. And I'm like, okay, so which one of them has a business in this? Or which one of them they could possibly, if they're trying to do a side hustle, how can I help them with that? Utilizing your support system, that will absolutely allow you to have a better journey as an entrepreneur, because you have people that will be there at those moments where you just feel like you have nothing else to give. So I hope this was helpful for some of you. I think that being an entrepreneur is one of the most fulfilling things that anyone could ever do. But you also must realize that there's going to be a lot of work that you're going to put in, but the work is so worth it. So thank you all so much for joining me on this live. If any of you have any questions, I can wait for a few minutes if anybody would like to ask any questions. Oh, I feel like I'm back in front of some students. Like, does anybody want to input on the assignment? It's okay. Even if you don't have any questions right now, you can still send me an email. You can direct message me or visit our website. I would love to hear from you. And if you are starting any business ventures, tell me how your adventure has been going so far and your journey. I like to use journey and adventure a lot because I think using words that sound more positive, it allows you to go through that moment with a happier time. Oh, we have a question. What gave you the courage to leave your 9-to-5? Oh, that is a wonderful question. Thank you, Cuzzo. Hey, girl. So I thought about leaving my 9-to-5 for a total of 2 years. And it was a lot of prayer and fasting. I'm a very spiritual person. And so I had to feel like it was the right time. But I also, when I realized that I'm thinking about working my business while I'm at my 9-to-5, then I realized I don't have the brain capacity to be here because my mind is somewhere else. And so I was at a university, so I also felt like I was doing the students a disservice, because there were moments where if we were putting together an event or something for them, I want to help them. But again, my mind is like, ooh, okay, how can I start this? I already got my articles of organization. So somebody wants me to talk to their group. So I was still focusing on my business. So once I realized that my heart, my mind, everything was elsewhere, that's when I started doing the work of thinking through, okay, what does this look like? How much are my monthly expenses? And then I wanted to save up 6 months minimum of my monthly expenses. I do recognize that can be difficult for some people, but if you are able to save multiple months of your expenses, I feel like that can help a lot, because that's one thing you don't have to worry about once you leave your full-time job. So I had little over 6 months saved up, and then I went through a really, really hard time mentally and had to take a break from work. I did end up taking FMLA from work. And during that time, that's when I learned a lot about taking care of oneself physically and mentally and spiritually. And I realized that working for myself was a way to do that, because that, like, I get excited thinking about the fact that I can, every single day, I'm doing what I absolutely love. So prayed about it, and I felt God say, all right, this is the time. So I was like, okay. And then I told my my colleagues when I would leave, and they were very, very supportive. So yes, thank you. I love that question. Yeah, if any of you are ever thinking of leaving your 9 to 5, if you are a person of faith, definitely pray about it first. I always believe that if you have anything that guides you internally, then you need to tap into that, because leaving your 9 to 5 is a very, very big step. And so definitely do that, and then start thinking through the steps that you need to take to make that transition as smooth as possible. So if you can save up multiple months of your expenses, please do that. If you already have a large savings and you thought you wanted it to buy a house, but you really feel like this is the moment for you to be self-employed, then, maybe make that transition, but still put stuff in place so that you're not just leaving and you don't have anything. I would also say, if you can start lining up some jobs, that would be even better, because you would literally go from one business to the next and continue that flow. Another thing is just popped into my head. If things don't go your way initially, please try your hardest to not get discouraged, and also recognize all of these big companies and people that we see, it took them a while to get to where they are today. So it is going to take time to build that brand recognition, to build your clientele, to, build that following. And starting out, it can feel discouraging, especially when you're trying to get followers on social media. And, it seems like everyone else is getting it, but for some reason, it's not coming to you. Trust me, you're still going to get it. It's just you're planting those seeds. Like when you plant seeds, if you garden, you plant those seeds, you water it, you have the sun on it. You don't actually see the flower sprouting out of the soil until days later. But under that soil, the roots are already starting to grow. The foundation is already being created. So as an entrepreneur, as you're talking to people and you're meeting with this person, exchanging emails and information, that's you planting those seeds. And what sometimes happens, somebody may take your information and a year later, they'll be like, hey, I met you at this conference. I remember us having this conversation. We're looking for X, Y, and Z. And you popped in my head. That can happen. So just try to stay the course and try not to get discouraged, because you will be successful. Just keep going. Yes, please. So thank you all again so much for joining me. This month is Money Smart Month. So we are having free workshops, free TurboTax, free. And this is not me making a plug for TurboTax, but if you want to be educated, or if you know anybody that wants to learn about money, send them my way. All you have to do is go on our website and register, and you only have to register so you can receive the Zoom link for the actual course. We also have modules and worksheets. So if you are an instructor or a parent and you want to do some activities with your children, these modules and worksheets are amazing to help teach financial concepts. So thank you all again. And as I always love to say at the end of everything I do, remember, consistency is key and change takes time. Stay smart, stay healthy, and stay financially well. Thank you all so much. Love you.